Hello, students. Welcome back to MAC. Excuse me. Sorry, not MAC 161, but we are in what today? CAD 140. All right, so we are in CAD 1. Get that straight off the start, right? So we are in CAD 140, and we're going to continue on with whole notations. And I'm going to show you how to create a full section view today. And when you're talking about section views, you're talking about looking at the internal details of your part. What do the internal details look like of the part that you modeled? So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and open up Inventor. Yay, here we are. Okay. So give everybody a chance to catch up. This is where we're at. All right. So I have a drawing for you, and I'm going to submit the drawing that we create today. I will submit or post that drawing in the module, so there's no confusion, because I do have another whole notation document in this class, but I don't want there to be any confusion because this one's a little bit different. So the one we're creating today is a little bit different than the other one that we have in Canvas. All right, so we're going to go to open. Click on open, please. And we're not opening anything. Okay, it's our files. So I just did that because I never asked you to actually open, but I asked you to open it today because I wanted to show you if you want to open up previous files, you can, if they're there. If you're in the classroom, it's a possibility that your files have been eliminated. So therefore, it is important for you to save your files on a flash drive, or you should get in the habit of emailing them to yourself. So there's no file I'm going to open here. I just kind of wanted to show you that. Select cancel. Now we're going to go to new because we're creating a new part. Go to new. All right. If you look at the drawing that I gave the face-to-face class, you will see that the dimensions are in inches. So we're going to select English units. Remember, if this is collapsed, you might not see the units. So you have to do what? You have to expand this. When you expand this, you're going to see English. Then we're going to go over here and we want to select a standard IPT. IPT stands for Inventor Part File. And we're in inches. That's what's in the parentheses is inches. All right. And then I promise next time we'll make a part that is a metric part, so you can see the difference. I don't know if we've made a metric part with Inventor. And then come down here to the lower right-hand corner and select Create. All right. So we have to go and do what? We have to select Start 2D Sketch, Start 2D Sketch. Notice we have to do that twice. And then we have to select the plane that we want to create our sketch in. As I said on many occasions before, Mr. Morris likes to select the frontal plane. However, that does not mean that you can't make a drawing in the other two planes. All right, so I'm going to start off with the XY plane. I'm hovering. See, it says XY, click. Remember, click is the left mouse button. If I say right click, that means right click. So left means, click means left mouse button, and right click means right mouse button. We're going to go to rectangle and select rectangle 2-point center. We're going to move our cursor near the origin. It should snap to it. Notice it is green in color. Click. You're going to drag out a rectangle. All right. Now it's asking for dimensions. So the overall length of this part, which is shown in blue, we're going to type in 8. Do not enter. hit the tab key. And even though your geometry has gone off the screen, the vertical dimension is still there in blue. And we want the vertical dimension here to be 1.5. 1.5 in this case. Enter. Now do a right click, select OK. All right. As you know, the scroll wheel can control the zoom, right? And you can zoom out and you can see all the geometry. Now I'm going to show you how to do another way to zoom in on an area of your part. If you look over here to the right, you see this little magnifying glass. This is zoom all. So basically centers your part, okay? You also have pan over here. So you can, if you click on this little hand here, all you have to do is just hold down the left mouse button and drag it. But again, I just use the scroll wheel, hold the scroll wheel down to pan. You should know this pretty well now. All right. So that was just a couple of things I wanted to show you. Go to finish sketch, and you want to rotate the scroll wheel so you can see all the geometry. Now, we want to extrude this. So go to extrude. Now, I don't want to extrude in the positive Z direction. I want to extrude in the negative Z direction. And the reason we do this for is because when we start our CNC programming class, right, we want the top of the workpiece to be Z0. And when we're actually cutting into the workpiece, we want that to be a negative Z value. That means absolutely nothing to you right now, but it will mean everything to you when you get into the CNC programming class. So we're going to flip the direction here. And 1 inch is exactly what I want, so that's okay. Select OK. I want to show you another neat feature over here to the right. Look at this one called Look At. Right here, Look At. If I want to look at a certain face here where it's normal to my line of sight, just watch. I'm going to click on Look At, and I'm going to click on this face. Look, it automatically does what? It moves that view so that I'm seeing that surface, and it is perpendicular to my line of sight. Now watch. I'm going to do another one. Let's say I want to look at, by the way, I use the view cube to get into isometric view. Let's say I want to look at, watch, this one. See? So it's going to take that surface and it's going to make it normal to your line of sight. Normal means perpendicular to your line of sight. And anyway, I just wanted to show you that. I'm going to go back up here to my view cube, and I'm going to get into my isometric view. All right, very good. All right, so we have the overall shape of the part. It's just a bar, piece of bar stock. We're going to start making holes in this, kind of like what we did in the last assignment. However, this time we are going to create a section view, which is an imaginary cut through your part so that you can see the internal details. One more time, it's a full section view. So we're going to cut all the way across, an imaginary cut. So I use the word cut. I'm using that kind of loosely because we're not making a physical cut. We're doing an imaginary cut so that you can see the internal details. So go to Start 2D Sketch, please. Go to Start 2D Sketch, and we're going to click this one, then click this one, and then click this surface right here. All right, I'm going to rotate that a little bit. Okay. Now I want to be laying out the holes in this view. All right, here you go. How do we create a hole? Go to point. Now, I want you to place this point at an arbitrary location, roughly about right there. Click. Do a right click. Okay. Now we have to clearly define the position of this point. Go to dimension, click here, drag it down. That should be 1. Type in 1 there and enter. Very good. Now we're going to repeat this. Click here and here, drag off your dimension, and that should be 0.5. Enter. Okay, so we have defined the center of the hole. We have defined the center of the hole. Now we need to click on finish. All right. Now we want to go to hole. I'm going to make a slight modification to this one. If you look on the drawing that I gave the face-to-face class, you will see the hole goes down 0.875 or 7/8 of an inch deep. I'm going to change that to 0.75. So what I want you to do, where it says hole, I want you to select simple hole. Okay, select simple hole. I don't want any seat. All right. And I want it to terminate. So it's not going to go all the way through. This symbol here means that you're not going to go all the way through the material. So in other words, you're going to have a blind hole, which means you can only see it from one side of your part. The diameter here needs to be 3/8, 0.375. Okay, and hit enter. Oh, sorry. I actually chose, please forgive me, I actually chose the wrong, you should have chosen this one. Mr. Morris hasn't woke up yet. Select this as your termination. Make this not 1 inch deep, but 0.75 deep. And then that should be fine. 0.375. It didn't like it when I chose this one. So all I did was switched over to this one and I edited the hole. You can always hit the undo, right? You can always hit the undo button, go to hole, click on what? Simple hole. We don't want to go through all. That's the default. We don't want to go through all. We want to go to a certain distance. We don't want to go all the way through. We want this distance to be 0.75, and we want the diameter to be 0.375. Okay. Select OK. All right. That's the first hole. Now we're going to create our next one. Go to Start 2D Sketch. Start 2D Sketch. Click on this face. Okay, you might have to reposition this however you wish. Mr. Morris likes to be in the isometric view. I'm going to go to point, and I'm going to arbitrarily locate the point. Do a right click, select OK. I'm going to dimension this hole. Go to dimension, click here, and then click here. And this should be 2. And I'm going to enter here. Now I'm going to go to dimension. I'm going to click here and click here, and I'm going to drag it off the part. And I'm going to make this 0.5, enter. All right. Does everyone have that center located? All right. Once you have properly located the center, select finish, finish sketch. I'm going to go to hole. This time, I want the hole to go I want it to be a simple hole. I want it to be a simple hole. There's no seat, right? There's no seat associated with this. I want it to go all the way through, and I want the diameter to be 0.375 again, and select OK. So, Mr. Morris, what have we created? We have created a blind hole. See, I can hover over that hole, and you can see it doesn't go all the way through. We have created a through hole. This one goes all the way through. Okay. All right. We're going to make our third hole now. Start 2D sketch, start 2D sketch, click on this face. And again, it's easier for me to do it from isometric. Get a point, place your point at an arbitrary location, do a right click, OK. Dimension, click on this edge, click on this center point, drag your dimension off the part, and this should be 3, and we're going to click the check mark. Notice I didn't enter this time, I just clicked the green check mark. Now we want to dimension from this edge to this center, and I'm going to click right there, and that should be 0.5. And you can click on the green check mark, or you can enter whatever you desire. Go to finish sketch, finish sketch, go to hole. Now this time, I want it to be a threaded hole, which is the same thing as saying a tapped hole. So if you hear the term tapped, that means it's a threaded hole. I don't want a seat on this one, but I do want to come down here, and the size of this needs to be a half. This one's a half. You have to look at the drawing that I gave you, folks. It's a half, and it's 1/2 13. Half is the diameter, 13 threads per inch, and unified national course thread. The classification of fit is a 2B, and I want the threads to go the full depth. Want the threads to go to full depth, and select OK. All right, now, Mr. Morris, did it really put threads that you can zoom in and you can see that you have threads in that hole? See there? But it's not actually cut into the part. It's actually a picture of threads. So it's placed in a picture. It's not the actual threads picture. All right. So this is a through hole that goes all that's been tapped. All right. Everybody still with me? All right, we're going to start 2D sketch, start 2D sketch, click on this face. I'm going to get back into my isometric view because that's what I like to do. It's good practice. Zoom in, you can pan, get a point. I'm going to place a point about right there. Doesn't matter, just arbitrary location. Do a right click, OK. Zoom out some. I'm going to put my dimensions in here. Click, 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 and then enter this dimension, which is going to be 4. And we want the dimension from here to here, drag it off the side, and that's going to be 0.5. Bless you. All right. Finish the sketch, finish the sketch, go to hole. Now, we do have a seat this time. So we have a through hole, which is right here. Simple hole, that's the through hole. And we have a seat, which is a counter bore. We have a counter bore. Now we have to enter our data here. Now this diameter here obviously cannot be the same diameter as this one here. So we're going to put in 1 inch. That's 1 inch. And then we're going to leave the diameter down here to be 0.375. And then this depth here is 0.25. So that's fine. Now, here's the beauty of Inventor. I'm getting ready to show you the coolest thing. Select OK. Oh no, Mr. Morse, look. Look at that hole. See that? Look at that. It's cutting through the edges. How can I fix that? Well, what I can do is, this is a situation where Mr. Morse realizes that he messed up, and he has messed up intentionally, and that is okay. So let me show you how we're going to fix this. Come over to your browser where it says extrusion, and I want you to expand it. There's a sketch here, right here. The sketch is fine. There's nothing really wrong with the sketch, except I do want to change some dimensions here. So click on the sketch one. And actually, you're going to right click on sketch one. Go to right click, and we're going to edit a sketch. Change this 1.5 dimension here to 1. And click on the green check mark. And then finish the sketch. All right, it got shorter, didn't it? Now, we need to fix this dimension here. We have to right click on extrusion now and go to edit the feature and make this 1.5. And then now, so Mr. Morris, looks like you have an issue here, right? Well, we don't. We just have to expand these sketches and edit them. This was a good practice. Make this 0.75 and then select finish. Watch that hole. It should have moved. It didn't move. Let's see. Oh, right click on sketch 2, edit the sketch. I thought I changed that to 0.75. Click on the green check mark, finish the sketch. Now it moved. Okay. Now it moved. Now I'm going to do that. Look here, hole 2. Look, I want to expand it. Go to sketch 3, right click, edit the sketch, change this dimension to 0.75. Okay. Click on the green check mark, finish the sketch. See how it's beautiful, how it's easy to make changes to it. And I didn't realize that until I put this hole in and realized I was cutting into the edges here, and that's not what I want. All right, you can collapse these as you're done. We need to now do hole 3, expand it, right click on the sketch, edit the sketch, click, change it, click on the dimension, change it to 0.75, click on the green check mark, finish, finish. It moved it over. Okay. Now we have to move this one. We're going to expand this one, hole 4, do a right click on edit sketch or sketch 5, edit sketch. Let's make this 0.75. Click on the green check mark, finish the sketch. Boom. Now we're back in business. Raise your hand if you were able to keep up with me. Wow, that's pretty awesome. Good job. Sometimes I'll throw a curveball at you intentionally, make a mistake to show you how to get out of your mistake, how to fix it. And sometimes I don't. Sometimes I make a mistake. But the beauty is we can fix it. All right. So we're going to go to start 2D sketch, start 2D sketch. Click on this face right here. And I'm going to get into my isometric view. I'm going to go to point. And I'm going to place an arbitrary point about right here. I'm going to do a right click, OK. Now I'm looking at my drawing. I'm getting ready to make my fifth hole. And it looks like the dimension from the end, 1, 2, 3, 4, is 5.25. So go to dimension tool, click on this center. This should be 5.25. Click on the green check mark. Okay, now we're going to place a dimension here to here. I'm going to bring the dimension off the part. This is going to be 0.75. Click on the green check mark and then finish the sketch. And we have our center properly located. This is a spot face. This is a spot face. What we're going to do here, spot face is a little bit different than a counterbore. Counterbore is you want to basically recess the head of the bolt so it's not noticeable or it's below the surface. Spot face is you just want to smooth the surface so that you can properly seat your screw, the head of the screw. Sometimes you have a rough surface. You don't want to tighten down on the head of the screw. It's not going to seat properly. That's why you want to make a nice, smooth, squared surface, okay? And that's what we're doing. Go to hole, and we want our through hole to be a simple hole. And look, these look very similar, but click on spot face. Click on spot face. This diameter right here, we want to be 1 inch. This depth, I'm okay with leaving it at a 1/16. Okay, I'm okay with leaving the depth at a 1/16. And this through hole is still 0.375. And we're going to say okay here. Now I'm just going to look and see and make sure all my holes are going all the way through, and they are. Notice the difference between a spot face. This is a spot face hole. This is a counterbore. Actually, the counterbore could really go a little deeper, really. We could make it a little bit deeper. How about let's do that? Let's have some fun with this, and let's see how we can make a change to this. Come over here on your browser and find the hole. Right there, it's hole 4, right? Now, I collapse this because I want to do a right click on hole 4, and I want to edit the feature this time, edit the feature, and I'm going to change, look, this depth from 0.25, change it to 0.5, select OK. All right, now, that's like a 1/2 inch deep. That should be sufficient to recess the head of our bolt or screw. So you see the difference between, they look alike, but they're not the same. This one will recess the head of the screw. This one just makes a nice, flat, smooth surface so that the underside of the head of your bolt or screw will seat properly. All right, now we're going to go to, guess what? Start 2D sketch. Start 2D sketch and click on this face right here. All right. And I'm going to get into, put a point right here. Do a right click, OK. This dimension is going to be 4, 4.5, 5.5, plus 5.75. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. Or 6 points. 6 point. Like Mr. Morris can't do his math here today. 6.5. It's going to be 6.5. Click here and here. And we're going to make this 6.5. And we're going to dimension from this edge to this one. And we're going to make that 0.75. Enter. We're going to now finish the sketch. Go to hole. This one we want to be a countersink, which has a conical shaped hole. Conical. So click on this countersink. And what is our dimensions here? This will be 0.75. And the angle is 82 degrees. And the through hole is 0.375. Select OK. That one's done. One more hole, and we can start cleaning up the model here and making our drawing. One more hole. Start 2D sketch. Start 2D sketch. Click on this face. I'm going to go to point. I'm going to click right here. All right. Now, if that's 6.5, then this is going to be 7.5. Here, here. That's going to be 7.5. And 0.75. Enter the green check mark. Finish the sketch. Go to hole. And this one's a little tricky, okay? So we're going to have a threaded hole first. We're going to have a threaded hole like this. And I've never seen a hole like this. We have a threaded hole. And we have a counterbore combination. Okay, and the size of this is, for the tapped hole, is a 5/16. So click on 0.3125 and you see it's 5/16 is the diameter of that through hole, not the large one, but the through hole. And 18 threads per inch, unified, and it's a coarse thread. And the B means internal threads. 2 is a classification of fit, and you want to go the full depth. And here you want to change the counterbore is fine at 0.75, and the depth, we're gonna change that. We're gonna leave the depth at 0.25. That's fine. So it looks a little bit different than this one. Select OK. All right. I hope you were able to stay with me, but if not, you have this video to watch to fix your model. All right. I'm going to file, save as. We haven't saved this. Call this OER10 hole notations. And section view. OER10 space whole space notations and section view. Select. I'm going to save mine into downloads. This one. Save. Now I would like to give this a material. Come over here to your browser. See, there's my file name right there. Since I changed, there's your file name. Right click on that, come down to iProperties and click on physical and down arrow where it says generic and click on steel alloy. I always love the steel alloy. I think it's beautiful in this software. Apply, close. Because it's kind of got that, it looks like a piece of metal. Okay. Now, normally I would have you put chamfers on the edges, but I'm not going to do that today. Let's save this or export this as a PNG file. File, export, CAD format, or excuse me, sorry, I got ahead of myself. Select file, export image, and we're going to come down here and save as a PNG. Save. That's your picture file. Okay. Now we need to make a drawing of this. Go to File, New, select English. Now you got to come down here and select ANSI, which stands for American National Standards Institute. And it's in inches. And IDW is inventor drawing file. So select this, create. I don't want to use this size sheet of paper, so we're going to come over here and right click on sheet 1 over here on the browser, right click on that and select edit sheet. We're going to change the size A, but we're going to leave it landscaped. We're not going to go to portrait. We're going to leave it landscape, right? And select OK. Go to base. And I'm actually going to try to make this full scale. Right now it's half scale. Make this 1:1, 1/1. That's almost too big. So a half was too small. 1:1 is too big. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to make it 0.75 and see. And I like that. Okay, I like that. Now, over here, I want you to do this. Click on this view cube. That's the view I want. That's the view I want right there. Select OK. I want you to move your mouse over, hover over the part. You'll see a red rectangle appear. Hold down the left mouse button and drag this up to about right there. Right? Now what I'd like for you to do is go to annotate. Go to annotate, please. And I'd like for you to select the center mark right here. And then come select the outer circle for every one of these holes, outer circle. And you're putting in your center marks. That's the exact center location of your holes. See how I did that? Okay. I'm going to do a right click. Okay. Now I want to add a section view. You've never done that. This is brand new. What I'm getting ready to show you. We're going to do an imaginary cut. We're going to do an imaginary cut. So we're going to go up here to place views. go to place views, and go to section. Now watch me. I'm going to do it first. I'm going to undo it. I'm going to do it again with you. Just watch me. Place view, section. I'm going to click on this view. Now watch. I hover, but I do not click. I hover over that first hole till I find the center, and then I drag my mouse off the edge of the part, click, and I slowly come all the way across the part like this, about right there. Click, then do a right click, continue, and I'm going to drag down. Now, Mr. Morse, what is that showing me? It's showing me the internal details. It's showing me the internal details of those holes. Well, why do we have to do that? Sometimes the machinist wants to see what it looks like on the inside. Do they actually physically cut it this way? No, they don't actually physically cut it this way. All right, now we're going to go to place views. I'm sorry, go to annotate. By the way, raise your hand if you have this. You want me to undo it? No, there's a lot of people raising. I don't need to undo it. Very good. I'm very impressed. You did great. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move this up just a little bit. And we're going to start placing some dimensions on here. All right. I'm going to do this a little bit differently this time. So go to annotate, go to dimension, and look, click here, drag out, bring your dimension down about right there. Say okay. Right click, okay. One more time, dimension. Now, watch what I'm getting ready to do. This is very important. Click here, click here. Now watch. I don't want to do that. I want to line my dimensions up. Bring your cursor over here and touch off on this dimension. Come back slowly, click, select OK. See what it did? It lined up my dimensions. I'm going to go to dimension, click here, come down, move my cursor over, click, say OK. It might take a little bit of practice, but you'll get it. Click, come down, move over here, click. Okay. Dimension, click, come down, move your cursor over. So you line up these two dimensions, click. Now you don't normally dimension this way. We're only doing it this way to save space. This is called chain dimensioning. And in the real world, you would rather do datum dimensioning, and I'll show that another time. Click here, because it looks like your dimensions are forming chain links. It's like a chain links of a chain. You have errors associated with dimensioning like this, whereas in datum you don't. All right. Here. All right, I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to click here, the overall. That's the overall dimension right there. Right click, okay. Now, I need to place some dimensions over here. Well, look, dimension, click here, drag your dimension out. I got to move this out a little bit further because it's going to be in the way. Well, I guess you could probably put it directly below the A. That will look okay. And then I'm going to click here, and bring a dimension out like this. All right, now I'm going to come in here, look, and dimension here. Now watch. I'm going to move this up, see, and kind of touch off that dimension and click. So, okay. It keeps those dimensions like, look how neat that looks. All right, now if you want to center this more, center directly in the page, you can do a right click, okay. Now watch. If I move my parent view, this is the beauty of it. Look, it moves it over. You might want to center that directly on your paper. Mr. Morris keeps missing the mark a little bit. All right. So far, so good. We have all of our dimensions defined here. Now we got to come in here. Look, we also have to put the center mark in for these holes. So what are you going to do right here? Go right here where it says centerline bisector. Now watch, this is a nice tool. Click the outermost lines. Click the outermost lines. Well, in this case, you might have to click on the right click, cancel. All right, now you can hover over these lines and stretch them a little bit. See little green dots. You can hold down the left mouse button and you can stretch it. It just makes it look nicer. Right, we're almost done. We got to put our notes in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this down a little bit. And I'm going to move this down a little bit. Bless you. All right. Now, this is the reason I love the hole and thread note here. Look how beautiful this works. Click on this, click on the hole, and it tells you exactly what the hole notation is. That's what 3/8 deep, 0.75 diameter. Right click, okay. It's not 3/8 deep. That's the, excuse me, I said the other way around. The diameter is 0.38, but the depth is 0.75. And if you don't believe me, you can dimension this here. In fact, go ahead and put that dimension there so you can see that this, in the real world, we would not do this. But I say go ahead and put it there because it proves that that hole, now this here is the drill tip. This here is the drill tip, so it doesn't count. The depth of your hole is from this flat to this edge. All right, go to hole and thread. Look, a beautiful thing right here. Look at that. Beautiful. Puts it on there for us. Right click OK. Now look at your drawing. Do I have all the notes there? Do I have all the notes? I do. Now we have just a couple more things. Okay, this is our model over here. And we've already saved it as a PNG. And this is our whole notation. So what we're going to do now is we're going to fill out our title block. Come up here on the browser, do a right click, go to iProperties, Summary. All right, the title of this is OER 10 whole notations and section view. Subject, your favorite subject, CAD 140. Author is you. Manager is me. Company is Virginia Peninsula Community College. You could put things underneath this line. You could put category. You could say, classwork if you want. It's not going to show up on your keywords. I'm just going to show you. Keywords. You could say holes and learning how to add various types of holes to a part. This is not going to show up on your drawing. Go to project, come down here, it says designer. You are the designer. You are the engineer, but Mr. Morris is the authority because you won't make it unless I say you can't. Status, checked by you, check the date. You're also the engineer, checked by you, approved by you. And before you make it, Mr. Morris. Okay, so you, and me. Apply, close. Do a file, save. Now, look here. You see how that goes all the way off the drawing. So we have to fix that, right? So come over here, do a right click, go to iProperties again, go to summary, and we need to find out where that is at. So it's the title here. Well, it's not the title, it's the project. So do this, let's abbreviate. So whole notes and section. See what happens when we do that. That's still too long. All right, so we're just going to say holes and section. That fits nicely. Close. File, save. That's a beautiful work of art right there. I would hire you to come do CAD work for me. That's the beautiful thing about this program that people don't realize. This program here, you could in fact be hired as entry-level CAD designer or machinist or both. All right, so let's go back to this one. Let's review one more time. This is our what? This is our part file, IPT, file, export, image. We want to make sure cancel. I don't know why I didn't. We want PNG. Well, for some reason, yeah. Oh, no, I don't know why I lost. Oh, I know why, because I put it in the. I know why, because I put it in downloads. All right. Save. You want to replace? Yes, that's why. So I have a picture. You want to save this as a PDF or export it file. Why do we want to save it as a PDF? So that people who don't have the same CAD software package can open up our drawing in some other location. All right, I'm going to go ahead, and that's pretty much it for this. I hope you learned some new things. Did I miss any of the dimensions? I don't think I did. Isn't that cool? I mean, I know I'm getting excited like Martha Stewart when she discovers a new recipe, but this is really cool. Okay. So I'm going to stop my share here and say goodbye to my online folks. End and meeting for all.